What's up, chat? Welcome to the second installment of Talk About It Tuesdays. We got a good one lined up today. Um, if you are here for the second time, welcome back. Um, this week, we have a special guest that I've gotten the privilege of seeing grow over the past couple weeks or past couple years. Um, and that's Broc Crist. So, Broc Crist is a semi retired golfer from West Virginia. Played 4 years golf at the University of Pikeville. Got a bachelor's degree in sports management and is currently working on finishing up his master's in professionalism. Brock's a brother, son, leader, and is recently getting into content creation. So, chat, please welcome Broc Crist. You have to turn back on your camera, Brock.
Okay.
But welcome, Brock. How you doing?
Good. How are you, bro?
You'll definitely feel I've figured this out, but you're gonna have to watch back the podcast to see the intro that I just gave. It was pretty fire.
All right, bet. I appreciate it. Much love.
But how are you doing?
I'm good, man. Just chilling out.
Motion of the ocean.
Ocean in
Um,
the ocean.
so I kind of gave a rough bio. Um, but if you want to kind of give a bio, kind of like talk about growing up and all that stuff. I know one thing to include. I said you were from West Virginia, but talking to Saul, I know that y'all moved around a lot, or you moved at
Yeah.
least once. So
So it was a little different for Saul just because I was a little bit older, but like I grew up in Lincoln County, West Virginia. I was there for 17 years. And then we moved to St. Clairsville, Ohio, my senior year. So when I was turning 18. So it was a little different for Saul because he never got to go to the same high school I went to in Lincoln County, but we ended up going to the same high school in St. Clairsville. So
okay. Um, so you kind of so like my understanding talking to Saul was that for him he knows more Ohio than he does West Virginia.
yeah, I would say so.
And then
Like
you're
I don't consider myself living like from Ohio.
so
But
what age did you leave Ohio?
so it'd have been when I was 18. So I was only really there for a year when I moved back to when I moved to Pikeville, Kentucky to go to school here.
Okay.
So I was technically only there for a year.
Okay. So Saul did high he did was in high school through Ohio,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Okay.
he was there for 4.
And then where what part of West Virginia are you from?
Lincoln County, so it's a small town. Hamlin. We had no red lights, so just a couple stop signs. Um, it was kind of in between Charleston and Huntington. The famous Chuck Yeager actually grew up there, first man to break the sound barrier.
I'm glad you said that
So
because
that's
I
where he
wanted
was.
to know who that was.
Yep.
All right. Interesting. Never heard of it. Not
Yep.
gonna lie to you.
Most people haven't.
Um, so kind of growing up, what was it like growing up for you? Like, so I thought you moved around way more than that, but um, just kind of tell us a little bit about growing up and maybe like what your family did and maybe how you got into golf.
Yeah, man. So, dude, I always played basketball and baseball. Like I started playing basketball when I was 4 years old and joined the buddy league program. A year too young, but stuck with it anyway. Um, Played basketball, baseball all the way through middle school and high school. And turned out, so when I was in middle school, still on the basketball team and stuff, they needed help refereeing, um, you know, buddy league games and stuff. Well, it turned out in the first house we lived in Hamlin, my next door neighbor, good friend of mine, Nate, his grandfather was the high school golf coach, and I had no idea. So I believe I believe it was like my 8th grade year we moved. I mean, we moved around a little bit, but we moved to a farm in Hamlin, a little farm about 17 acres, and my buddy was like, "Hey, you should join the golf team." I was like, "All right, bet." Like I may as well. Like I didn't have anything going on in the fall
How
because
old were you?
basketball's winter. What is it?
How old were you?
I've I'd have been 14,
Okay.
14 or 15 going into high school. I mean, my dad always tried to get us into it a little bit. Like I always had clubs and stuff, but I never really fooled around with it. Um, Watched Tiger, that was about it. And um, and man, we moved over to that farm, and I just got the bug. Like I went to the high school that I went to in Lincoln County, it had like 1,000 kids. So when I showed up to golf practice, remind you, Lincoln County didn't have any type of golf facility. It was the only county in West Virginia that doesn't have any type of golf facility, no driving range, no golf course, nothing. So we ended up going to uh, a neighbor's house. He had like a little hitting net inside his garage and went over there. Well, it turned out there was only four of us on the golf team out of 1,000 kids at that school.
Solid.
And so like they were already buddies of mine, like just through middle school because we went to the same middle school. And we had our first 9-hole match, and like they were a year older than I was, and like dude, I was nervous as hell, like super nervous, and I ended up beating them. Like first time like actually
Right.
playing, like I
Like
shot like
competitively.
42, 43 or something. And dude, after that, I swear to you, I promise you on everything, I got done with that 9 holes. I was like, man, this is awesome. So so we went back to the house, and I found some like old golf balls just sitting in our barn. And dude, I just started beating balls and going out there and picking them up. So it just one thing led to another. The next thing you know, I was started mowing like a section of our yard, like about 220 yards down in our property, and like we had 220 yards from where I hit all the way to the end because Mud River was behind our farm. That's where it ran through our property. So like I just blasting balls, and I started realizing, man, balls are kind of expensive. So
Balls. That's
I just
crazy.
started.
Blasting balls is
So
crazy.
I was blast them, dude. Like I didn't know what I was doing. Like I was just hitting balls. Like I was just trying to. I got the bug and
Figure it
just
out, right?
yeah, I just started just hitting, man, and um, that turned into being something I did like every single day. Like dude, I'm telling you, there was times where I was hitting uh balls, 100 degrees outside. Like I'm out there soaking, just sweating. I've got my shirt off, just beating balls. And there's been times where
Bro, you gotta
our
stop phrasing it like that. It's diabolical, bro.
I'm,
Beating
it's just
balls
I'm
is
beating
crazy.
balls, man. All right, I was hitting golf balls, but um, so um, I've been out there, got 3 or 4 inches of snow, and I just still go out there and hit. Like, dude, like I would got addicted and addicted quick, and then that's when it started to like, you know, I started watching YouTube
Right.
and just trying to learn about the golf swing and try to figure out how I need to be better.
So do you think that in that sense, like coming to golf later, like have you've, I guess, grown up a little bit, like you think the addiction in a sense was like deeper? Because when you think of like a lot of pro players, they've been doing it their entire life, like as soon as they could
Yeah,
pick up a
exactly.
club. So you think like the addiction's different? Like, do you think if you were to start younger, I mean, I guess scientifically, if you were to start younger, you'd be way better. But I feel like there's some type of accomplishment in like starting later than most people and still being. I'd say
Yeah,
you're good. You're not decent.
I mean, I appreciate it.
I guess it depends on the
Uh,
day. Golf is like that.
no, you're 100% right though. I mean, like, I guess the love I found for it just so quickly, and like, trust me, like, it might be different if I started when I was 3 years old, but like, and there was times where I wish I did start younger just so I could, just know the game sooner and figure out how to be better sooner.
For
But
sure.
at the same time, it kind of just drove me to be better, like because I after that first 9 holes, like I was the one guy in high school, and like all those other high schools, like those dudes were beating my ass, dude, like just beating me up and just I mean, I'm not even coming close to them, and it kind of pissed me off. But I understood why they were better than me,
Right. Because they've
because
been
I
doing
knew
it
I was
longer.
starting.
Right.
Yeah, and like I knew they were getting golf lessons, and I knew all this, but it honestly it drove me, to be honest with you,
I
100%.
mean, I got you to
It just
college,
pushed me to be better. It did get me to
so that's
college.
good.
It did.
No, that's definitely interesting. I thought for sure like you had been playing longer than that. Do you think on the team now there's a lot of guys that have been playing longer than you have?
On the college team,
Yeah,
or yeah, I mean, yeah, I would say so. I mean, trust, there's nothing wrong with that at all. I mean, let's just, they, they a lot of them grew up on golf courses, and let's just be honest. So like they've always had that access,
right.
and like the closest golf course that I lived was like 30, 35 minutes. So, and when I first started getting into it, like I wasn't even old enough to drive.
That's
So
fair.
like, and like I had to convince some like the guys were a year older than me, so I had to wait until after my freshman year because they still didn't have their license technically yet. They let me know the learner's permit, but
Right.
in West Virginia you have to have a parent. So
And then so you said you had like you had a farm property. You had a farm like you had animals and crops.
uh, we had chickens.
Okay,
That was it. It was more just property in a way. We just called it the farm, but
got you.
it was like
What did your parents do growing up?
uh like what do you mean?
Like what did they do career wise?
So my dad ran a primary care center in Lincoln County, and he opened up a few of them around Southern West Virginia. And then my mom had some different jobs. She worked at a bank. She also worked for my dad. She's really good with numbers, so she did a lot of the like number side of things.
Accounting.
So that's what they did in West Virginia.
Fair
So
enough. So I mean, in that sense, you didn't really have another like you didn't know anything different. So let me go to school and get my business degree, and
pretty much,
you know, fair
I'm
enough. Stick to what you know.
um yeah.
Uh, so would it, I mean, clearly we're gonna talk more about golf. That's your thing, and I mean,
I could talk about golf for hours,
I
bro.
got the itch. So we'll definitely talk more about golf, but kind of going back into like college now, transitioning to like a career path. Let's talk about
Yeah.
like the challenges you've had, kind of transitioning from like a one of the bros to the like a more leadership position.
Yeah, so I mean, coming into college and like I wasn't being recruited to play, to be honest with you. I was like I said, I played basketball and baseball, and I was more recruited on playing baseball, to be honest with you. But um just the love of the game. Luckily my cousin Sid was here and got me in contact with Kevin Otten, the head coach here, and took a visit, and I was like, man, I love this place. Like, gotta come here
For sure.
immediately.
Very
So
similar experience for me.
yeah. So I mean, like coming in, like I knew it was almost like high school again. Like I knew I wasn't going to be like the best player. Like
Right.
I knew that. I knew that coming in. Like you had Trey Eisenberg, great player, won a couple tournaments. You had Blake Moody, he won a tournament. You had
Dogs.
Dustin as well.
Right. Like
Yeah,
you
they're
talking
good.
the U Pike golf stars. Right.
Yeah, and like they were seniors, and like Blake Maupin was coming in, and I knew he was really good, and he ended up being the one man that his freshman year for a couple tournaments. So like I knew that coming in. So like it just it I knew that coming in, so I knew I was going to have to work harder than everybody.
For sure.
So I mean, I might not have been the best player on the team, but I can guarantee you like there was nobody going to outwork me. Like there was just no way. So and then having guys like Trey and Dustin and Moody like kind of lead the way, just really gave me a good path
Some
to
good
follow.
influences, some bad influence. I'll
Yeah,
give you that.
yeah, more or less. I'd say more influence from Trey's side, and then
So you think that kind of coming in as like a guy who knew that he was not as skilled as the people ahead of him, that kind of projected you to bust your ass to be the leader that the team needed once those guys were gone. Is that kind of what you're
yeah,
getting at?
yeah, exactly. So like once Trey and Dustin graduated, Moody stuck around one more year, so he was the team captain my sophomore year. Um, and like um, At that time it was me, Moody, Blake, and Kyle and Max Baker basically on the team. So like I knew after that year, I was like, I'm going to step up. Like I just know I'm going to have to, or we're just not going to be hardly any good. Because like we only had 5 guys on the team, so I mean, I didn't want to be the one having to drag everybody else down.
Right.
So like that encouraged me to just bust my ass even more. To be honest with you,
For sure.
and so and then that my junior year when Tyler, Nate, and CJ all came in, I was like, well, we got a little bit of help, but that doesn't give me the reason to slack off any. And then for whatever reason, that junior year, like something switched, like and like I knew, I told myself before going out on the golf course for a tournament, I said I'm not going to shoot above a 75, like because I'm good, but I'm not going to go out there and shoot like 67, 68. Like I never shot under par in a college tournament,
Right.
but I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna try my best to shoot around even best I can. And there was one round out of like 10 that I shot above a 75 in that year. So
All right. So
just
let's hear like a crazy golf story. Doesn't have to necessarily be college, but just like something crazy that happened on the golf course that you're like
oh
that's a
man,
core memory for you.
I got so many funny stories. I think one of the I don't know. I'm pretty sure Kevin's in here. He knows what story's coming. I gotta tell it. But first of all,
But don't
I'd say
tell
the
it.
coolest.
Don't if you're gonna tell a story that could potentially get somebody in trouble, don't include
No, no,
first
no,
and
no,
last
no, no.
names.
I ain't gonna get nobody in trouble. But I think the coolest thing I did was actually during the same time Kevin got situation. But I hold out in a tournament, which was really cool. Um, I made. I wish this was in the tournament round and not in the practice round, but I made an albatross, a double eagle on number 12 at Stonecrest from like 220 yards,
Number
and I
12.
caught it in the air. The
Number
par
12.
five, um, you go across the road, and then it's right after the par three.
The one down the hill,
Yeah, yeah.
like the fucking ski slope.
No, yeah, it's before that hole. Yeah, that's 13.
Okay. All right. I know which one you're
Yeah,
talking about.
yeah,
It kind of
so,
like
yeah.
it ends in like in a low point.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think, not I hate to brag, but uh, me, Tyler, and Nate, my brother were playing in a practice round, and we both hit it over to the right on the cart path. And like we already knew where the pin was from the previous day. Like we've been playing every day, and so I hit. So Tyler hit. Tyler's a little bit longer than I am. Like he hits a little further than I do.
Crazy
Tyler
choice
hit a
of
five
words.
iron. So Tyler hits a 5 iron, hits it really good. I was like, that's gonna be pretty good. Nate hit it God knows where. I don't remember where Nate hit it, but but I hit a 4 iron I hit like this low hook. And as soon as I hit it, I was like, damn, I just made a two. And like we couldn't see the hole. Like, you know how it's kind of
Yeah.
blind, you
Right.
can't really see it. I said, ball was like literally in the air. I said, damn, I just made a two. And they're, laughing or whatever, blah, blah, blah. So we drive up there. I see a ball in the front of the green, and I see a ball on the back left part of the green. The pin was in the back right of the green. I was like, that's got to be Tyler on the front. And Tyler gets up there, and he's like, yeah, that's my ball. I said, well, you hit a 5 iron. I hit a 4 iron, so it should be pretty good. Like it
Right.
should be close. So there's a ball in the back left part of the green. I was like, it's probably mine. It's kind of disappointed, but it was a pretty good show. I was like, I was gonna take it, and it turned out to be a Callaway. Well, I wasn't playing a Callaway,
Pro
and I was
V.
playing a Tyler,
Yeah.
and I was like, so where the hell is my ball at? Like there was no other ball around the green. I was like kind of getting pissed off. I was like, where's my ball? Like we looked around the green, and then I was like, I just went and checked the hole. I was like, whatever, I'm gonna check the hole. And I'll be damned if that son bitch wasn't in the damn hole. I started going
Yeah. You
crazy,
should
running around
run
the
it.
green.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So,
No, that's wild.
uh,
I
yeah,
mean, the fact that
I
you
told
caught it in the air, that's different too.
yeah. So and then I got to tell this other story just because Kevin didn't hear. We were we were in Georgetown for Georgetown tournament at Cherry Blossom, and we got to the driving range. We are literally the first team there. We are there before the head pro, like there was nobody in the pro shop. Like, we were the first people on property. So we get down there on the driving range. There's no balls out there. Like, we're just sitting out there for nothing. Finally, a guy comes, picks balls, drops them off. And more teams start filling in. And so we're down there hitting balls. Um, one of my good buddies from Georgetown was hitting right beside of us. And some girl walked up to Kevin and was like, "Hey, do you care if I hit? Like, you guys are taking up all the spots." Well, there was only 3 of us hitting at the time. And Kevin's like, "Yeah, I'll just hit 1 or 2 more and you can have it, like, completely fine. It's totally cool." And she, like, rolled her eyes at him and she was like, "Whatever," and just walked off. So my buddy from Georgetown was like, "Hey, you need to give up that spot. This is our tournament. You need to give up your spot. Like, this is crazy. This is our tournament." Kevin looked up at him and said, "Who the fuck do you think you're talking to?" So Tyler jumps in, of course, and he's like, "Man, you need to learn who you're talking to." So I was like, "It is 7:30 in the morning, bro. Like, there is no reason to be fighting right now, bro." I was like, "Come on."
So for those tournaments, y'all
But
do shotgun start?
yeah, yeah,
Okay,
most of the
I
time.
figured. I figured that was the case.
Most,
For those of you who don't
yeah.
know, Kevin said that Nate was here as well. For those of you who don't know, a shotgun start is a whole bunch of different players will start on different holes along the course and then play a full round. But yeah, I figured that was
Yeah.
the case.
Yeah. So
I they'd have to you'd have to play that way to make sure that everybody gets through.
I mean, it's a long day regardless. I mean, it's 5.5, sometimes 6 hours just to play 18 holes in a college tournament.
That's
Like,
insane.
it's crazy.
That's insane.
And like, people don't understand how mentally draining that is too when you're out there for that long.
Oh yeah, no, I guarantee it. I mean, how much you're actually sitting around waiting to play.
Oh, like, there's been so many times, especially like, uh, I'll give you an example. We were in a battlefield one time, and um, we shotgunned, and I started like 16 or 17. Well, they put an illegal pin on number 9. Like, the ball wouldn't stay on the green. So like, they had to come back out and recut the hole, and like, it backed everything up. So like, by the time I finally got to that hole, there was like 7 groups
In front
still
of you?
hadn't teed off yet.
Damn.
So like, me and Nate had like the Velcro pad and
Yeah,
the
with the
and
ball. Yeah, with
ball.
his ball.
Yeah, we started throwing that around because we always kept that in our bag just for that
Right.
situation. It's like, we knew it was going to happen eventually at every play. So I mean, we sitting through that ball around for an hour and a half before we even teed off.
That's
So
crazy.
like, so
All right, we'll come back to golf, but I know that you're a big Tyler Childers fan. So I got
don't get me started.
two questions. First question
Yes,
being, let's say, just for sake of time, let's do top 3 Tyler Childers songs, and then I got another question too around music.
God, you're gonna put me in the spot, man.
You claim to
Um,
be his biggest fan, so I gotta test it out.
Dude, you can play 10 seconds of every song and I'll tell you what song it is without
Yeah,
even hearing a word.
that's a 0.1% fan right there.
Um, Man, I don't know. That's tough. Um, my favorite song is unreleased. It's probably going to be 22nd Winter. That's such a heater. So it's Born Again from the Purgatory album. That's another one of my favorites.
That is a good one.
Um, I mean, the tie. I'd say I have to put White House Road and Nose on the Grindstone at T3. Like,
It's a
just
pretty good list. Granted, I think a lot of Tyler, you're gonna not enjoy this, but my take is a lot of his stuff is so played out.
some of those songs. Yeah, I
That's what
mean, some of them.
I like to
I
catch his stuff when he first drops, so I can listen to it and enjoy it before the radio plays it 40,000 times.
Yeah, I mean, I agree to that. I mean, I feel like that's why, like, some of those songs that people don't know about, I think that's why they're even better.
For sure, yeah.
Like,
Well, see, if,
like,
his cover for Harlan Road,
oh my
dude, that's a
gosh,
banger. That's a banger.
It- if "Time" by Pink Floyd, if you find that one on YouTube, oh my
Okay,
God,
I'll have to look for it.
so good,
Okay,
so
so
good.
big Tyler Childers fan. I'm assuming from West Virginia, you're a big country fan, not just Tyler Childers fan.
Yeah, I'm a pretty big country. That's about all I
Okay.
listen to. I mean, I got a little bit of
So
everything,
I
but
have a feeling of what your answer is going to be, but top 3 country artists of all time.
I mean, I can give you a list like right what I'm listening to right now.
Okay, you can't make
'Cause
like an all time
it
list.
kind of varies. Like, dude, it's
Yeah,
like
no,
every other week
yeah,
I'm picking
no, for
one.
sure. Yeah, music is like that.
Obviously, Childers at number one. Like,
Yeah,
I think he's the goat. Like, I literally think he's the goat.
it's a hot take.
Yeah, I mean, for some, but for me, it's not.
Fair enough.
Uh, I would say Childers. Right now, I'd probably say Zach Top. Right now,
He's good.
he's got some heaters.
He does.
Man, um, right now, oh my god, I don't know, man. Like, I listen to Sonny Best a lot. I listen to Chris Stapleton. I've been on a big Jason
She like
Aldean
the
kick
more
here lately.
yeah, Jason Aldean's fire. That's
I've been listening
that's
to,
more of my like
yeah,
that's the country shit that
Riley
I
Green.
grew up listening to. Like being from
Yeah,
the city, it was like country, but it was like, is it country? You know what I mean? So,
dude, his old stuff,
oh,
he's got
Jason,
some
bro, come on,
banger
come on.
heaters.
He sings Amarillo Sky, doesn't he?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Eric, big country guy, he like listened to old school country and he listens to country now, but he doesn't listen to anything between that. So I was like, we were driving one. I can't remember where they were going. I think he came to Georgetown with me to go golf, and we were driving, and I played Amarillo Sky, and I was like, "You don't know this song?" And he's like, "No." And I was like, "You gotta fucking listen, bro. This is come
That's
on."
crazy.
But
That's
no,
crazy.
even now, Jason, I feel like Jason Aldean's getting back into his roots, like the shit that he was dropping when he first
Yeah.
started. That shit's fire. When you take
But
like
I will say,
that
go
kind
ahead, go ahead.
of time frame, like old school Blake Shelton, like Home, All Red, like that slaps.
Dude, this is gonna be a hot take, but whenever I was growing up and like we had the country radio on, I'm telling from like 2010 and like to 2016, that was prime country music.
How old are you
There
then?
was
2010.
23,
No,
about to be
okay.
24.
But I'm saying in 2010, you were
I'd
20.
have been 9, 10 years old, 9, 10 years.
Okay.
I was born in '01.
Okay. Okay. You're not as far off as age I thought you were. But no, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. I think that is like, I'm not very bluegrassy. Like, if it's good, I'm
Mm.
a fan of good music. Like, I don't mind to listen to stuff that's more bluegrass. Like, what's dude's name?
Billy Strings.
I do listen to Billy Strings Post Malone was fire.
Yeah, that is fire.
Yeah. Um,
He blew it.
but no, the guy, Richmond, north of Richmond. What's his name?
Oh, Oliver Anthony.
I like that guy.
Yeah, he's solid.
But like, I'm not a big Conway guy. That's a
Yeah,
hot take. But I just more, I don't know. I guess I like a little bit of pop influence in my country. If you were to ask me right now who's number one, there's only one answer.
who's that?
That boy Morgan Wallen. All right.
Oh, how did I forget Morgan Wallen, bro? Like
But I
that
mean,
made this.
yeah. I mean, and then honestly, Riley Green's sneak of the list. The only reason I like Riley Green so much is because he puts out way more than Morgan Wallen does.
Yeah, I agree.
And also,
Riley,
he's not a bad looking man, and he can fucking crush a golf ball.
dude, Riley Green might be the best looking man in the world right now.
Hey, you're on to something. You're on to something.
Like
All right, let's do this. Let's
I've
do
been
this.
to his concert.
Let's
Go.
do a fuck Mary Kill Min edition.
Okay. All right, bet.
I mean,
I'm
you've been
in.
talking about smashing balls all day. I feel like it's only right.
Beating balls, man. I just love beating balls.
All right, who you killing? You have
Oh, did I have a
I'm
list?
not gonna give you a list. You're just gonna make a list.
Okay.
I'm gonna leave this open for interpretation.
Okay. I'm obviously marrying Riley Green, like obviously.
I don't blame you there.
Actually, no, let me take that back. No. No, I'm marrying Tyler Childers just so I can hang out with him all the time.
That's fair.
Just for that point.
Best friend
But
vibes.
I will kiss Riley Green. I will give him a big fat kiss. Kill. Oh God. Uh Man, that's tough. Oh, Kane Brown.
Okay, so we kept it in. Oh yeah, I like that list actually. So we just did a country music list.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you don't like Kane Brown?
No, I don't like his music at all.
Yeah. Honestly, there's some songs that are like okay, but I'm not a big fan. And he's got a punchable face.
He does have a very
And he
punchable
does.
face.
I'm pretty sure he streams. So Kane,
I've seen
if you're
I've
watching
seen
this,
him on TikTok.
I want all the
Yeah.
smoke. 1v1 me and COD, bro. It's up. But no, that's a good list. What about golf? Who's your
Oh
top?
my
Who,
God.
who's top three all time golf?
Tiger's obviously number one. It's hard not to put Jack in there, so I'd put Jack at number two. Um, Number three, I'd probably have to go with probably Sam Snead.
He's an older golfer, isn't he?
Yeah, yeah. I
Like like actual wood clubs golfer.
yeah,
I knew
like
the other
before
two.
Jack. I
Um,
mean, if I'd put Phil in my top five, but
okay, let me ask you this:
I don't know.
being a guy who knows golf, I'd say fairly well. Like you know golf.
Yeah,
What's your take on Bryson? Because I've talked to people who are like Bryson's not that good. Do you
dude,
think he's
I've
a
had
golfer? Or you think he's a long driver?
dude, I've been so back and forth on Bryson. Like, I think, don't get me wrong, he is very good. Like,
Yeah,
he's legit. Like, I mean, you don't win 2 U.S. Opens and not be that good.
right.
Like, I no, I will give Bryson that benefit, but on the other hand, I think he's helped grow the game in a way because I mean, like he's back on. He does a YouTube golf as well. Like I've watched a couple of his videos, try to learn um, just what he
Do
thinks
you
while he's on the
think
golf course.
from the like, kind of this perspective of like the itch, like he does stuff on YouTube golf, but do you think that him doing YouTube and trying to be a professional golfer is kind of hindering him winning another championship?
Um,
I mean, he's out there playing with fucking kids clubs, bro. Like,
I, yeah, yes and no. I don't think that it. I don't think that it's like his main like objective. Like I feel like those guys. Well, yeah, this is tough because you got Live and you got PJ Tour, and I feel like the
I
Live
was actually about to
guys.
ask you that too.
So like, I have a hard time rooting for the Live guys. I don't agree with it
How
at
come?
all. Just based on the, I just feel like they just sell. I mean, I understand why they do it, just for all that money. Who wouldn't take that money? Like, if I got offered to play for Live, I'd probably take it. Like, don't
Right.
get me wrong, but just just from the people it's backed by, like, and then I can't get myself to watch Live Golf. It looks too much like it looks like a party instead of
Yeah.
actually going out there and playing.
What do you mean?
Like,
You don't like having fun on the
I
golf course,
don't
Brock?
like it.
You're a
Oh, I
old.
mean, I
You're an
do.
old school type of guy. Like you like the PGA. You like it quiet when you swing.
Yeah, I
Okay,
mean, yeah,
I
I
get it.
do, but
Times
I
are
just think it's
changing, Brock.
weird. I understand. Like it's not that I don't know how to put it. Like I used to hate Live. Like I was like totally against it, but I think the way the PGA Tour handled it was just wrong, and I think they should have merged years ago.
So what was like? Do you know the details of like what happened there?
Um, so I know when it first started, and all these guys were going towards Live, like the PGA Tour, like Sean Manahan or however you say his name. He's the president of the PGA
Like
Tour
the
or
commissioner,
whatever.
right?
Um, he um he was just telling like he was making these contracts like if you go to this Live tournament, you'll never be able to play on PGA Tour ever again, like ever. Like it's just part of the contract.
And that's not
I
the
don't.
same anymore, right? You could still.
It's getting to that point. It's not there yet. Like I think like it's been in the Congress for like over a year now,
Oh,
trying to
Matt.
get this merged.
So you can play in the Masters still, right?
Yeah, you can still play in
Okay.
major. So the thing with the majors is they're not affiliated with the PGA Tour.
Got you.
So
I
like
didn't
the
understand that.
Masters, the Masters is its own thing. The British Open is RNA. It's its own golf thing. The PGA Championship is hosted by PGA Professional. So so they're not affiliated with the PGA Tour, not one bit. And
Mm,
like the U.S. Open, they're affiliated with the USGA, United States Golf
got you.
Association.
Got you.
So
Okay. I didn't
so that's why they're
understand
allowed
that.
to play majors. Yeah,
Right.
that's why they're allowed to play majors, and some of them have made exceptions for it. So
So if you win a major, you're going to play in the Masters, right?
yeah, I mean,
That's like like you continue to win, you get to the Masters. That's the
yeah, pretty
concept.
much.
Okay. And then PGA
Especially,
events only get you to the tour.
well, I mean, there's so many ways on the tour. Like you got the Q School, you got the Corn Ferry, and you have to play so good in these tournaments for so long to be in this top 25. So like the top 25 in Corn Ferry, they get their PGA Tour card. Well, they might have their PGA Tour card, but they have to be in the top 125 of money earned in the PGA Tour just to be able to keep their card.
Got you.
And to be able to get in these like um, higher person tournaments, I mean, they have to play so good. I don't know how some of them survive, to be honest with you. Like it's crazy.
And also in golf too, the cut depends on how well people are playing, right?
Yeah.
It's like
So
sometimes the cut could be like 3 over, and sometimes the cut's even.
yeah. So like when you're watching a major, like at the U.S. Open, like the cut might be 4 or 5 over just because of how hard the golf course is.
Hmm.
But if you go to like let's see, if you go to like the waste management that just happened this weekend, like it might be 2 or 3 under.
Right.
Like,
Like it depends on the
it's
course. Right.
yeah,
That makes a
it
lot of
just
sense.
depends on how hard the course is playing, and how well guys are playing.
I
So
got you. So, do you think, like you kind of said, it's still like they're still like reviewing it, but I mean, in that sense, if I know they dropped that documentary Full Swing, did you watch that?
mhm. Yeah,
Okay. See, I'm not. I got the itch to play golf. I'm not necessarily like full. I have like golf shit lined up to watch once I get to that point, but I don't.
mhm.
I got a lot of shit going on. Okay, golf is more. Golf's the only thing I have right now that I'm not fully invested in to make money on.
Right.
So I haven't gotten to that point. But uh, my understanding from like bits and pieces I've seen on TikTok is like in golf professionally, that you could either make all the money or you make nothing. And
Yeah,
that, do you think that's a lot of the reason why people were kind of falling? Like, if that's the case in the PGA, well, I know I can go to live and they'll pay me to play
yeah.
here for this amount of money. You think that was kind of the driving force behind that?
I think so. I believe so because if you look at a lot of the first guys that went to live, it was it was like Dustin Johnson, Phil Mickelson, Ian Poulter, like all those older guys. Like they're older,
Right.
so like they're probably
They're not going to compete.
you know
So you think Tiger would
yeah.
benefit from joining live?
No, I mean they did offer him $1 billion,
That is still
but
fucking crazy,
like
bro.
that's crazy. Like it was like $900 million to go over there and play, but like that's Tiger Woods. Like, do you really think he needs another $1 billion?
Yeah, that's fair.
And like another thing with Tiger though is too is like he's a legacy guy. Like he wants to he wants to have the major he wants to have the all time major winning. Like he wants to be number
Right.
one. Like
And I think too, like that way professionally, like you've been doing PGA events your entire life. Like it's almost like if you talk about the GOAT in golf, 90% of the people from our generation is gonna say it's Tiger, which I wouldn't disagree with. Like one of the greatest to ever do it. Are you okay?
oop, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, my Wi-Fi cut.
I was gonna say you froze. I think we're having technical difficulties with Brock. I'm gonna run a quick ad. We'll be back here in a second.
All right, can you hear me?
All right, we're back. Brock fixed his Wi-Fi. Okay, what I was saying was, um, I think for Tiger being a PGA guy his entire life, and everybody saying like he's the GOAT, I think he understands professionally like when his time, like when it comes time to like put the clubs down, that he
Hmm.
almost has an automatic role in some PGA form. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
like a lot of NBA players, after they're done, they go into announcing for ESPN. It's just kind of how it works. And
Yeah,
I feel like
exactly.
him
I
going to
mean,
live, it might make him money, but like ultimately, if he really loves golf and he loves the kind of the environment he's been in at the PGA, the only way to keep that going is to like stay, I guess, like faithful to PGA.
yeah, exactly. I think I'll be honest. I think his son has part of it to do with it too. I
Dude,
mean,
Charlie's gonna be a fucking dog, man. You see him hole
dude,
out in that tournament?
he's nuts.
Dude, he's insane.
He's sick.
He's literally a
He's
Tiger
sick.
copy and paste. Let's hope he doesn't
I'm,
get the extracurriculars, but
yeah.
I think that's a lot
uh,
of the shit that's like kind of held up Tiger, bro.
I agree. Like, dude, if he, I mean, God, if he didn't cheat on his wife, if he didn't, and if his wife didn't beat the shit out of him with a 9 iron, I think he probably would have about 20 majors.
Dude, dude, he's
But
got bro. He's
injuries,
so fucked up. What do you know about this new shit they're doing? Is it a PGA event, the indoor shit?
oh, the TGL.
Yeah, is that
So
PGA
I know it's like it's almost like um
Summer League?
you know the big three,
Yeah,
like cubes like basketball. I
yeah.
think it's something like that.
So it's like an off season thing.
Yeah, it's kind of like in between
Yeah,
tournament
that
stuff.
makes sense.
Like
But it's
it's
kind
like
of badass. Have you seen like the behind
it's
the scenes?
cool,
Like
man.
they pull the fucking floors up.
It's crazy how that works.
Oh,
I'd
I'll
love to
tell you
go.
this. I was talking to Titus, and I said, what y'all need to do is y'all just need to fundraise a couple $1 million, and y'all need to buy the fucking baseball field at Stonecrest, and
Dude,
you need to build like a whole ass facility over there. And he
it's
was
a good
like,
idea.
yeah, but like it's still gonna be 45 minutes away from campus. I was like, you're not understanding what I'm saying. I'm saying build a facility, build dorms, and then golfers stay out there and do their classes online. I say even if you have like study rooms that teachers can come and teach lessons in, then you're at
Dude,
the golf course. You know how good y'all would be
that'd be nuts. That'd be
eventually.
sick.
I'll donate money so y'all can get y'all's own fucking facility.
Appreciate you. I'll
Uh,
hook you up with some. I'll hook you up with some Utah golf
bro,
gear.
listen, I've been told that so much. I got a fucking bucket hat, bro.
Hey, I'll fulfill a promise.
I was waiting so long for a golf bag that I ended up getting one for my birthday. Uh, okay, so before we get back into like your golf experience, let's talk about like I mean, if it's golf, it's golf, but like let's talk about like a core childhood memory you have.
Oh man.
Were you a good kid? You get in trouble? Is that
No, dude.
is that why your parents don't love you?
Dude, I was, dude, I was the most boring kid of all time. Like, I didn't go out. I never went to high school parties. Like, I never did any of that. Like, um, man,
You're a fucking square.
yeah, dude. Like, I didn't do anything. Like, just kind of, I don't know. I just didn't want to get involved in that stuff. I don't know why. I just never did. But, I guess a core memory. Let's see. The only thing I can really think of is just my junior year in high school. We were playing our uh, rival Scott High School in our regional tournament basketball, and we were down by one or two with like 40 some seconds left, maybe a minute or so, and I hit a three to put us up, and the place went freaking nuts. Like that, that was awesome. That's probably the one thing I go back to the most.
They just gave me coach. I was like, I was there.
Yeah, dude, I got the video of it. It's kind of sick.
You have to send it to me. See if I put it in the post edit. Um, so you think in terms of like talent wise that baseball was like your go to? Like you were way better at baseball?
Yeah, I would say so.
What
Um,
position did you play?
I played middle infield, second, short.
Did your
I
dad
was
coach you?
just little league, um, somewhat in middle school a little bit, but I mean, my dad was a great baseball player when he was in high school. I wish I had his power because he all he talks about is hitting freaking home runs all the time. Like, dude, I was lucky to get it out of the infield. Like, if I hit it out of the infield, I got a double hit. If I got a double, that felt like a home run to me because if I poke one out about 220 out there,
Let me ask you this: have you ever been tossed out of a game?
if I no, I have not been tossed out of the game. I almost got thrown out in a middle school basketball game one time.
For what?
Okay, we were playing our rival, playing Duval, and this kid and the ref were not calling a damn thing all night long. I mean, this kid was grabbing my jersey, like just doing everything possible to get inside my head. Well, he got in my head. And right before the half, he threw an elbow, hit me right square in the nose. Like I was bleeding. I was like, as soon as I get the chance in the second half to get his ass back, I'm going to. So I'm driving down the middle of the lane. I go up for a layup, and I felt a jersey, like my jersey being tugged, and like I kind of like fell backwards, and the refs didn't call anything.
That's wild.
So I like blacked out, dude. Like I don't even remember chasing him down the floor, but I blacked out, and he got the rebound. He gets to about half court, and I'm in a full sprint, like blacked out, two hands just shoved him down the ground, and he gets up in my face, and no, bro, hold on,
Get a phone call.
can you? Yeah, Chris is calling me. Yeah, but I shoved him down on the ground, and like my buddies Dennis and Jacob knew he like grabbing me, pulling me back. That was the closest I've ever been to getting in a fight. Like I've never been in a fight, but that's the closest I've ever been to getting in a fight.
Dude, it's funny you say middle school because it happened at my middle school, but it was when I was in elementary school. But I started playing basketball in my 5th grade year, and honestly, I got into it by accident because my buddies that I played football with needed an extra person for their like AAU team, and I remember this is actually crazy, bro. I forgot about this. I remember fucking like fucking I didn't have money growing up, so they asked me to play, and my dad was like, how much is it? And they're like, no, we just need him to show up. Like he doesn't need any experience. We just need a body. So my dad's like,
Yeah.
yeah, like no problem. I remember I had a cut off black like Under Armour shirt that I would wear for football, and my dad
Mhm.
fucking painted a number on it. And I went out there, no clue what I'm doing. I'm just fucking running around, bro. And then I told him like, yeah, I want to get into this. So I started playing basketball in elementary school, and at that time it's like co-ed. And I'm not the biggest guy by any means, especially not that time. I was probably fucking 4 or 5 maybe. I was short as
Yeah.
hell. So I was just scrappy, bro. If the ball's on the floor, I'm diving
Yeah.
on it. Like I'm just like no like dribbling. I can dribble, but like stopping dribbling to shoot, like the transitions off. Like I've got so many
Yeah.
travel calls. Dude, we're playing this game at my later would be high school, and I go to shoot a three. Which, granted, you don't have to play defense with me, bro. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, right? Go to shoot a three. This guy that I play Optimus League football with, like I know him well,
Yeah.
goes to like contest the shot, but he just punches me in the eye. Like, so get a foul call. I'm like can't see shit, right? I get to the free throw line, and I like look up and there's 3 baskets. It's like cartoon shit. I missed the first, I missed the second, and I hear my mom yell from the stands like aim for the one in the middle. So I shoot, I make it 1 for 3 from the free throw line. Like in the game, whatever. The following week is picture day, and I have a black eye. And the day of, bro, I get some sort of stomach bug, so I'm freezing to death. I'm wearing like my
Yeah.
like whole fit, right? Fucking arm sleeve, padded arm sleeve, but I am freezing. I'm pale as fuck with a black eye, dude. I'm like sitting in the hallway shivering uncontrollably, and my assistant coach gives me her jacket to like
Mm.
keep me from being cold. Dude, it sucked. But I tried to go back. I told my sister this last podcast. I tried to go back to get the pictures after I graduated, and they didn't have them, bro. But I was like, bro, that picture's got
Oh,
to be
dude,
iconic, dude. A black eye, pale as fuck. Dude, I was like whiter than white. Like I was see through, is how white I was.
that's so funny.
But it's crazy to like you went. I'm assuming as like a student in high school, you were going to like games and shit, right? Especially small town. It's kind of the vibe, right?
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I played most of the sport except for football, and like during football season, of course, golf. So I didn't make a whole lot of football games, but like I was always, at basketball games or baseball games. Just
Well, let me ask you that because it's kind of like how I feel. So, like, being from a big school, football wasn't like, I guess it was a kind of our primary sport. Like, we had football or basketball.
yeah.
But being in a city, like, it was like, I feel like that atmosphere that small towns have behind, like, Friday nights,
Oh,
different.
it's different, dude. It's awesome.
So, do you think
There's
that,
like I can't even explain it.
yeah, no, yeah, it's wild, bro. Especially, like, imagine being in, like, a small town Texas, like, Friday night, bro.
Oh, dude.
Eventually, when I travel, bro, I want to make sure that I line up my schedule to be there for a Friday
Yeah,
night game.
that would be awesome.
But is that something that you've like missed? Like you feel like you missed out on like that atmosphere to being in the stands on a Friday night, being from a small town?
Um, I mean, yeah. I went to a couple football games. Like I, dude, you want to know the truth? When I moved to Ohio, I went to more football games at Lincoln County than I did when I was there.
Did you not
I mean,
play
I was.
in Ohio?
What is it?
Well, you graduated,
No,
right?
I played. I went 1 year in St. C. So I mean, I still had a. Oh my! I can't believe I'm about to bring this up. But I still had a girlfriend in Lincoln County. So like on Friday or and my grandmother still lived in Hamlin. So like when I'd go down there and see her, like I would. That was about the only time I could go see my girlfriend at the
So
time.
you were seeing more games in West Virginia when you were not living there.
Yeah,
Ah, I see. Huh.
yeah.
Well, see, that's one thing too. Like, I just went back to the city. Matea had like a bridesmaid thing.
Mhm.
And actually, that was the weekend of the wedding. I think the wedding was on Saturday, and Friday night I went and took her and dropped her off in Louisville. And I was like, bro, it's Friday night. Like fucking tripping them's working.
Yeah.
So I was like, fuck it, like I'm gonna go to a fucking Friday night game and see what's popping. And then I went to go to my high school's game, and then I get there and I buy a ticket, and I look down and the ticket says like one of the schools that I hated the most, like J Town, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to this game. So like I walk out there and I'm like looking up. I'm on my phone like trying to find where my high school's playing. It's like Oldham County. I was like, that's an hour drive. I'm not about to make that.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay. Male was playing Saint X. So I was like, that'll be a good game.
That
So
would be a good game.
I
Yeah.
walk out. I give my ticket to some lady going in like, hey, like here you go. I'm not watching this shit. And then I went to the Saint X male game, and it was cold and rainy, but it was still
Yeah.
fat. Like it's a male Saint X game,
Yeah.
bro. Like the fucking Saint X boys are out there wilding with white t-shirts, wet as shit. Okay,
Mm.
pause. That's crazy that I said that, but that was just
This
wild,
game beating balls.
right? And then also like I bet at the time, like in high school, I'd be like, this shit's lit because there was like a whole bunch of girls. But now as a dad, I'm like, bro, this is wild. My daughter would never like fucking short shorts and fucking crop tops, freezing rain. I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, fuck no. But yeah, part of me, I feel like I missed that. Like I was telling people that I was at a Saint X game, and they were like, "Why?" And I was like, "I didn't really have the opportunity, you know."
Right.
Because my
Yeah.
thing was, I played through high school. I probably shouldn't have.
Right.
Like my freshman year, my baseball coach told my dad that I needed to quit and focus on baseball. And my dad told me, he was like, "I think he's got a point," because I was still small. I didn't. Dude, I was like 5'5" in high school until my junior year.
Hey man, at least you grew. I never grew.
Well, you're also not 5'5", so it could be worse. But he told my dad like he should focus on baseball. It doesn't matter how small you are in baseball. My dad told me, and I was like, nah, that shit's dead. And then fast forward junior year, I'm like debating it, like, okay, I'm getting college looks. I could go play baseball year round and get better.
Right.
And then we're projected to win state, so I'm like, not gonna do that because if we win state, I know gonna really be pissed. So I stay on the team. We make it to the state semifinals. We get our ass kicked by Bowling Green. I'm like, damn.
Bowling.
I was like, that might be my last opportunity. And then I'm like, full set, like in my head, like I'm quitting football. I'm gonna play baseball year round. Senior year fall comes around, and we're projected to win state again. And I'm like, well, here we go. Might as well. One more ride. And then we ended up losing a state again to Bowling Green. And then 2 years after I graduated, bro, they got fined and like investigated for recruiting violations. And I'm like,
No
this is
way.
bullshit. Yeah. I
Wow.
should have reached out to the KHSAA like, hey, I need a ring, bro. I got fucked. But also, like, come to find out, Bowling Green, I ended up it was wild, but I ended up dating a girl from Bowling Green, and we kind of talked about it, and she was like, yeah, like Bowling Green's weird because all those kids grew up playing together. Kind of like the
Right.
small town, like it's like a small town thing, where like there's two
Yeah.
schools you go to. So all these kids like grew up at Optimus League, and then they just fucking continue playing in high school.
Yeah.
And they kicked the shit out of us, bro. Bad my junior year. Senior year, we actually put some points up, but it was still not good.
See, that's kind of the way Lean County was. Like our high school was consolidated. So like before, so just in Lean County, you had four towns. You had Hamlin, Duval, Guyan Valley, and Harts. So they used to have their own high school and be single A. Well, in like when I was in kindergarten or first grade, they consolidated. So like we'd always played against each other, like growing up. Like we knew who each other were from different towns, but like we never really played with one another. We always played against each other. So we kind of grew up hating one another because we were always, middle school we were rivals with all those teams. And then once we got into high school, like just the amount of like conflicts that happened those first years or the first year or two was crazy. And then by the time kind of matured a little bit, like my best friends when I got in high school were people from Guyan Valley. Like I never talked to anybody that I went to middle school with.
Right.
Really, to be honest with you. It was weird, but
You kind of got a taste for what being in a big city is like,
yeah,
because like
kind of in a way.
you
Yeah,
know people like fuck. I could tell you how many. There was 500 in my graduating class.
yeah,
So like you know people from other schools that you grew up with, but you don't like talk to them regularly.
right, right.
But no, it's actually surprised me. Like knowing kind of like I guess in college you kind of had to chill out because like you got the athletic thing, like the position of the athletic, so you can't like be wild. But I got kicked out of
Right.
quite a few games. What?
Yeah,
Fuck! I got kicked out of a football game too. So I got kicked out of a Optimus League game, like football game. At the time, I'm like the only guy on the field that could throw a football. I'm like 5 foot tall, and I'm playing both sides of the ball, like trying to be good. I was decent, but like it was one of those like 8 step drops. Don't see anybody open. I'm taking off.
right.
uh, but I remember we were playing this team, and fuck, I'm getting my ass kicked. Like nobody's blocking. I'm getting tired of getting hit. I'm pissed off.
Yeah.
I like acted like I was falling and kicked this kid, and then they threw me out. And then the rest of the time that I played for that team, they called me Thug Johnson. So that was pretty cool. I got kicked out of a middle school game in baseball. I feel like correct me if you or like kind of give me your feedback if you agree, but I feel like being the best person on a team is not good for your ego,
I'd agree. Yeah,
especially when it's known. Like when everybody tells you like you're the best
yeah,
player we have, it's not good for you.
yeah.
So like in
And like,
what were you saying?
go ahead, go ahead,
I
go
was
ahead.
gonna say in middle school, I had been playing baseball since I could hold a bat. Like I have pictures of
Right.
me like as a toddler with a fucking helmet and bat in my
Same
hand.
here. Yeah,
So I get to middle school and I've been playing like good organized baseball my entire life. And then my middle school starts a team, like a first year program. Coach is like has experience, but he doesn't know what he's doing. I tell my dad like, hey, you know, I got a year before I go to high school, so I think I might, play for the team. So I go out there and it's a shit show, bro.
yeah.
At the time, dude, they're like pitch count is a thing, like it's a hard cap, but they don't really give a fuck.
No.
So I'm like, I'm the guy, bro. Shortstop, pitcher, whatever, wherever they need me, I'm going. I remember telling the coach one time I'm pitching and I'm not feeling it, so I'm like, yeah, come out here. he comes out. I'm like, hey, like I'm not feeling it. Like put me in the outfield for an inning and then pull me back in. And he's like, what? And I'm like, yeah, like I'm just not feeling it right now. So then he puts me in the outfield for an inning, and then I'll get bored out there. So I'm like, all right, I'm good to go back in, coach. But I got
I
kicked
haven't.
out because I'm at this point I'm catching, which
Right.
I was really good at catching, but I fucking hated it, bro. My knees did not like catching at
Oh,
all,
it's the worst.
dude.
It's fun, but it's the worst.
Well, the only time I made an all-star team was catching.
Mm.
So I'm in a predicament of like you're good at it, but you hate it. So like I get back there, I'm fucking. It's hot. I'm like I don't feel like doing this shit. This team's just it's slap ass. So
I mean, I could kind of give you an experience, kind of like what you were saying, like, being from a small town, like all those older people are from that same town.
right,
And like when I mentioned we consolidated, I mean, those guys grew up hating one another and they still hate one another, all those
yeah,
older guys. So like my high school baseball coach at Lincoln County, he was from Guyan Valley, and like I, I mean, his whole entire lineup was Guyan Valley kids. And I'm like, I remember being a freshman, and there was a second baseman, and like I just sat there on the bench like I'm better than he is. Like there's just no way that I shouldn't be out there right now. And like it went on for like a couple years. And like by the time my junior year came around, I was playing second, like I was starting at second, but they were DHing me.
mm,
And like during batting practice, I'd be like the only guy I'd be able to hit the ball. And I'm like, do y'all not like can you all not see this? Like I don't understand. Like I can put a bunt down wherever you want me to. I will get on first base. I will force 12 to 13 pitches.
right.
Like it's just the way I played. Like I knew I wasn't going to hit home runs. Like I
Do
knew that.
you so do
But
you
my job was to be out
you're in the order you're probably hitting like one or bottom like 1 or 9.
there. Here's the thing. I was DH'd as a second
Oh,
baseman.
I see what you're saying. Okay,
So I was like, and then like we go to practice. I'm like, I'm better than these guys. Like half these guys are too damn scared
right,
of the ball. Like I ain't scared.
right.
Like I've been hit. Like this is crazy. So like eventually I just had enough. I was like, I walked right up to our coach. I was like, why the fuck am I not in this lineup? Like I'll go out here and out hit anybody on this team right now. I'll go out there and outrun them. I'll go out there and out D them. I guarantee it. He was. I had a shoulder injury like a couple year or two. He was like, man, I thought your shoulder was still hurt. I was like, how would that affect anything with me batting? So he finally puts me in the lineup. He puts me at like 9, like halfway through the season. And the next game I'm like 8. Next game I'm 7. Next game, like I just kept working my way
Right.
up for no reason. I ended up batting like 444 and had like a 800 on base percentage. Like it was something
It's damn
stupid.
good for high school.
I was like, I could have been doing that for y'all all
Yeah,
year,
right.
but you're too damn stubborn
Yeah.
to realize it.
Well, see,
And then
go ahead.
whenever I transferred to Ohio, my baseball coach didn't even know it. Like he had no clue. And like I remember sitting in math class. You're gonna laugh at this. My math teacher, Mr. Boner, was his name. I was sitting in Mr. Boner's class, and like our baseball group chat was going nuts from Lincoln County. And I just straight up left. I just left the group chat because I was tired of them. And then like my coach texted me separately. He said, "Why'd you leave the group chat?" I was like, "It's like Coach, I'm in St. Clairsville, Ohio, sitting in math class. I'm no longer in Lincoln County." Like he said, "Oh damn, I had no idea." And then it was just like I see what you're saying though. Like I
Yeah.
understand.
Well, I
I've
mean,
been there.
it wasn't that the coach knew who his player was, right? And it was me.
Right.
And as a fucking what 13-year-old kid, bro, that is not good for your ego.
Yeah.
So I'm out here one game catching, pissed off, don't want to be there. I'm like getting an attitude with the umpire, which that's like red flag. Don't do that. Not a good idea. And I end up throwing him a ball, and he fucking drops it. So like me being a smartass, like run over to it, pick it up, like here you go.
Yeah.
So I'm on his list. Then I get a hit, like a good hit, in the gap, and it's like rolling to the fence. So I round second hard as fuck, right into a kid. Like he's standing in the base path. So I'm like, what the fuck? Go back to the base. They toss me. I'm like, I'm at this point full like, are you kidding me? I don't even make it past from second. I don't get past the pitcher's mound, and I take my helmet off and throw it into the dugout. Like I remember throwing it and it being a perfect like curves right into the dugout and like skips underneath the bench and everybody's jumping out of the way. Then my dad starts jumping the umpire's ass and then he gets thrown out. But
That's
I was like,
awesome.
but it ultimately comes down to me like way too much for a 13-year-old kid to have all the power and tell the coach, "Hey, move me. I'm not feeling it." But
Yeah.
100% like I get it. Like no animosity to those refs or umpires. I don't know who you are, but like I was being a dick. I deserved it. I got kicked out of. Was that the only 2 games I got kicked out of? Yeah, everything else was in college, so nothing really changed. I would say I was less of a dickhead,
Yeah. I
but
mean, there's been plenty of times where I've gotten to the line of about to be thrown out, but I never crossed it. So like, I knew when to stop.
okay. So in all fairness,
Sure.
there's been times that I should have gotten kicked out in high school. Like basketball games, we used to talk crazy.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what it is about basketball though that like the ceiling for you shit talking is so much higher than any other sport.
Oh yeah. Dude,
There,
there's so many things I've said during basketball games where
dude,
even I was like, dude,
I got kicked out of a fucking women's volleyball game that I drove 4 hours to be at. Me and my buddy go. We have girlfriends on the team, and what we started doing was looking up the roster. So we have the whole team's names, and we'll talk to them. So this is like opening day in AIA, and me and my boy just stand the whole time. So we're like standing at the corner of the court, like opposite of the flag holder, and we're just not like cussing, not being nasty, just talking to him.
yeah,
And the ball lands in front of us, and I like picked it up and I tossed it to the girl, and I said, "Here you go." And her name was Mayo. Her last name was Mayo. So I said, "Here you go, Mayo," and I threw the ball, and she looks at somebody and goes, "They looked up our roster," and I said, "She's smart. You should listen to her." So we're like watching the game, like we're kind of talking, and then the game's just not nobody's playing. So I
yeah,
look up and they're like talking to the up ref. So the up ref calls like the commissioner of the tournament, and they
yeah.
send security or the commissioner comes and talks to us, and the commissioner's like, "Look, I don't care if you stand up, I don't care if you talk, but don't talk to the other team. Just talk to your players." We're like, "Cool, we're on their side of the court anyway, so like our players on the other side." So like no big deal, cool. Not even 2 minutes later, Brock, ball lands. Literally, I could reach out and touch where it hit on in inbounds. And I'm like, "Yep, right there," pointing at it. My boy does this right here. He's like, "Yep, for sure hit, got it, right there, right." They stopped the game again. So I'm like, "Okay, what is it this time?" Security comes over, and by security I mean some asshole in a fucking NAI polo. Fucking, you probably seen him at events. Fucking big, huge, swole guy, but his legs are tiny.
Yeah.
And he's like, "You gotta go." And I'm like, the commissioner just said like we could stand, we just couldn't talk to that team when we weren't. And he was like, "I don't know, you just gotta go." So we're like, "Okay, we'll sit down." And he's like, "No, we're past that. You gotta go." Keep in mind, I drove 4.5 hours to be here. So we're like, "What the fuck?" We're like, He's like, "You gotta go." So he starts walking us out. I'm like, "No, that's crazy." So I'm talking shit to the dude. I'm like, "Bruh, that's crazy." Basically, I basically told him that when he goes to the gym, he hits all chest, no legs. And then they kick us out. We're in the parking lot. I FaceTime somebody that I knew at the game, and they like videoed the last set. But it's just wild the fact that I got kicked out of a volleyball game. Not even for talking shit. Like, didn't say one bad word. And then I got kicked out of a football game. Granted, I don't think that one was as much as my fault. Okay, they one time, if you look at U Pike history playing at Pikeville High School, there's been one game that they flipped the fields and put the home team on the opposite sideline.
Oh God.
I am the reason that it will ever happen again.
What were they thinking?
I don't know, but I want to say it was like, was that? I want to say it was like the first year Phipps got here. Yeah, about that, because it would have been my senior year.
Yeah.
Granted, I had a little bit to drink, and
As you,
one of the guys that I was with decided it was a good idea to wear a bulletproof vest. Now, not like an actual one, but it's like a
yeah.
yeah. So we're a little sauced up. We go to the game. Granted, I'm not saying anything crazy, bro. All I'm saying is we're up 20 to Thomas More in like the first, I want to say first quarter. So all I said was, y'all are trash. Y'all are losing to the worst team in the conference. And then they got butthurt about it. So now I'm talking shit to their players who are standing literally, you know how the field is. They're literally right
Yeah.
below me. So I'm
Yeah.
talking shit, like walking the fucking pavilion to talk shit to them.
I mean, you can give him a high five while walking by
Yeah.
if you wanted to.
So dude, I find a guy who's talking shit and I follow him and he'll try to get away from me and I'm just following his ass. And also what didn't help was it was COVID time,
Oh yeah.
which was stupid as fuck. You had to wear a mask outside and fucking, you couldn't stand, they were like, you can't stand on the rails because of COVID. And I'm like, bro, what the fuck are we talking about? But anyways, this is the real inside of what happened. You know me, and you know what I carry on me every day off campus.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. A guy on Thomas Moore's team looks me dead in the face and says, meet me at the bus. I got it on me. And I said, you brought a gun from Thomas More? I'm interested. I'll see you there. I'm very interested. I'll see you there. So it like escalates and escalates. And at this point, they start throwing water into the stands. So like now parents are getting involved. Now it's turned into this whole debacle, bro. And I honestly didn't say a cuss word until they started like saying meet me in the parking lot, meet me in the parking lot.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay. Then Duke comes down. So it's me. I want to say it's like me, 3 white dudes, and my black friend who's wearing a fucking bulletproof vest. So Duke comes down from, I guess it's like somebody in athletics. I can't remember who it was. But he looks at Q and he's like, you need to leave. Not y'all need to leave. You need to leave. So then it turns into that. Q's like, no, that's crazy.
That is wild.
I'm like, bro, let's just get the fuck out of here. Like, it's 40-something to 0. Like, we got the dub. Let's get the fuck out of here. But, yeah, that one, I understand that one. But not even, like, the same year into the season, COVID, we're sitting in an empty fucking Appalachia Arena, and I am chirping the hell out of this team's bench in the fucking handicap section of the arena. So it's not like I'm like right behind the bench. They're talking crazy. Talking to their coach. Tell them to put in the GPA booster guys.
Mm.
Me and Q's got the bench dying laughing. Like they're laughing at the coach. We end up, it like comes down to the wire. Then we gave up like a 10-point lead. And they end up beating us by like 2 points, if that. Like they hit a free throw to win. Me and Q were riding our asses so hard. Like we had people laughing in the stands, like including the people at the announcers table. And as soon as this horn sounds and they beat us, the coach turns around. He goes, y'all have a good night. Hopefully y'all didn't pay too much to get in here. And I go, it was free. At this point, everybody lost it, bro. Everybody's falling out their seats. Dudes on the bench are hiding their face, trying not to laugh at him. The coach says that. As soon as I say it was free, he ducks his head, shakes, it was Wells at the time, shakes Wells' hand, and then immediately makes a U-turn and goes straight to the locker room. I was like, that's embarrassing. But the fact that I was cussing and carrying on at that game, they didn't say, sit down, stop talking to the other team, nothing. But as a problem at a fucking volleyball game, that's wild.
Hey, I know you all baseball guys get wild during basketball games. Come on now.
Dude, my freshman year, I remember going to a basketball game, and this is when we sat on the floor, like the whole team.
Yeah.
Like, we would steal chairs from the other side of the floor to make sure that everybody had a chair. Like we would almost be two-manning one chair. And we were playing in Georgetown. That was when it was lit, bro. But we were playing in Georgetown, and one of the guys had his thumb wrapped. And I remember a guy telling him, like, oh, your thumb's wrapped because you be sticking it in your boy's ass. He got so pressed about it. And then he gets in dude's face. So the entire, no, I don't exaggerate when I say this, the entire baseball team stood up ready to fight. Like, are you stupid? Like,
bro,
15 to 80 is not a fair fight, brother. What are you talking about?
when I came on my visit here, it was during like February, about this time, and um, we went to the basketball game. It was part of my trip or whatever. And Sid was here coaching, and dude, like I remember the baseball team just lining up on the sideline. I was like, "This is fucking awesome, dude!" Like they were talking so much shit, and like this is great. And then I remember at the end of the game, like I mean, they were hammering this one guy, like just absolutely just flaming him. Well, he got a fast break dunk, like right at the end, like it didn't even matter. But like he was just doing it to be, just to be an asshole. And like he like hurt himself on the way down, and the baseball team started fucking clowning his ass.
Yeah.
So like I remember talking to Sid after the game. He was like, "Hey," Sid told the guy, he's like, "Hey, don't pay attention to none of that. You're a great player." Blah blah blah. So whenever that dude got out of the handshake line, he made a beeline towards the
I think I
baseball.
remember that game actually.
Yeah, he took a beeline to him. I was like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah.
I was like, "This is the place I gotta be."
You know, for sure. That honestly, I think Wells leaving kind of put a damper on that.
Yeah, I
Also,
agree.
kind of too, this like the juniors and seniors in that class, that baseball class, kind of were like in charge of that. So like the years to follow, like shit like that would fall off. Like we used to fucking. I remember there was a homecoming game we had one year, and homecoming fell on Halloween, so like we did a Halloween party, and we were out there fucking no shirts on, painted up. It was wild, bro. It was a wild time. But then like those guys that were kind of in charge of like putting that shit together, they graduated, and it's not the same as it was. Hopefully it comes back though, because that was a exciting time to be here.
Yeah, for
Definitely, you
sure.
could find yourself in some trouble though. That same year, I saw a guy get put through a floor of an apartment in a fight. So we got rowdy, but it was definitely a good time. And I feel like
Yeah,
that's the college experience.
yeah, yeah.
I
It's
feel
definitely
like a lot
dynamic.
of, I mean, in my opinion, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like if a lot of that shit comes back, then I feel like retention might get a little bit better too, in the sense of like people wanting to be here. I think the
Yeah,
biggest thing
exactly.
about Pikeville is there's nothing to do here. You got to make stuff.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
And I've told, I don't know if it's, again, I don't know if it's the same for you, but I've told buddies from back home that were like, I'm thinking about coming there. Like, do not come here. Part of it's not like I know the shit they're wrapped up in, and I know they're not gonna like
Right.
the atmosphere because I see people from Cali and Texas and New York that come here and they're like, this place sucks because there's nothing to do.
I'm not used to it. Yeah,
For me, it was
exactly.
good because I needed to limit the distractions I had because I mean that was a big thing throughout high school. Is like I could have done so much more in my high school career, but because I had so many distractions, it just that wasn't the case.
Right. Right.
So were you like you said you were kind of a square in high school.
I was.
Did you have a good
I was
GPA?
born. I was like a 3.2 guy. Like nothing impressive.
That's fair. I think
Kind of just went
my
to class and did half-assed it. To be honest with you.
yeah, I think that comes with like the athlete thing.
Yeah.
Because for me, that's kind of the situation I was in. I was a two sport athlete. People knew me. I didn't have to do
Yeah.
shit.
Exactly.
I didn't have to do
Well,
shit.
that was like I remember my Spanish class my freshman year, and she was like, "Oh, you're on the basketball team?" I was like, "Yeah, I'll be on the basketball team." And dude, I made an A in there. I didn't do shit all year.
I had like two classes in high school that I could look back and be like, okay, I took these classes serious.
Yeah.
History because like I actually like the guy who taught it,
Mm.
but that was until just like senior year. I was in a advanced anatomy class, and I loved it, bro. And the only reason I didn't get college credit for that was because I didn't take the test.
Damn.
But I had an A in the class. Like it was, I loved it. I was a big science guy. What was your like? What was your subject of choice?
History for sure. I loved history, man.
I'm not a history guy
Uh,
now. I think that
like if I could talk about like the world wars and stuff, like I can go on and on and on about it. But
for sure,
um, I don't know why, but just history's always been a thing. I've always been decent at math, but I didn't really love it. But
for sure. I think for me the science aspect was like hands-on stuff. So like I really liked chemistry
yeah,
and I really liked anatomy because like we were dissecting shit and fucking
yeah,
making chemical reactions. So like that shit was interesting to me. But like I had a what the fuck do they call it? Broadcasting class. So I was in high school. My school was like a non-traditional school,
Yeah.
so it was my home school. So I automatically got in, but it was like a broadcasting journalism program. So I did that for 3 years in middle school, and then I went to Fern Creek where I did that 4 more years. And honestly, once I got to high school, it was less like doing the shit and more like, hey, this is a free period, basically. Like I know I need to get videos of this, but I can do that in 5 minutes, and then I can fuck around the rest of the time. But that honestly fucked me over the most when I got to college. Was like I didn't do shit in high school. Like everybody knew
Yeah.
me. I showed up most of the time. Some of the time. But I knew that as long as I did the bare minimum, that they would pass me. And I ended up
Yeah.
having a 3.9 when I graduated.
Damn.
Granted, I busted my ass like when it came to actually doing the work. Like if they told me I had to do it,
Right.
then I did it. But
Right.
it wasn't like I was like grinding to get it. Like it was very
I
easy.
was same exact way, dude. Like I honestly didn't give a shit. To be honest with you.
Well, I mean, too, like they say, I remember in high school, the whole thing was like you have to have a high GPA and then you have to have a high ACT score, or you can have one or the other, but you can't have low both.
Right.
So I have a 3.9 GPA, bro. I go to take the ACT. I take the practice as like a 20. Also, doing all this shit before getting diagnosed with ADHD. So I get a 20 on the ACT. I'm like, okay, I'll pay for it and take it down. I'll get better than that and I'll be done. So then I went to Seneca. It was like this school in the ghetto. Or not really in the ghetto, but it's a very ghetto school. And I take this fucking ACT test. Like, I think it was reading. You could hear somebody shooting a music video in the parking lot.
Mm.
I ended up getting a 22. And they were like, you should try it again to try to get a 24. And I was like, not doing that. I was like, I got 3.9 and a 22 on the ACT. I'm good.
Hell, I got an 18 on my ACD. I was chilling.
Well, and then when I got here, my I really liked my first coach, but I wish he'd stay here 4 years. I would have played through college. But he our first like it's like literally the first week of fall, we have to work football games for fundraisers.
Right.
So he's like, "Hey TJ, you wanna work the clipboard?" Right, this is right after the officials were like, "We need somebody smart to work the clipboard." So he goes, "TJ, you're working the clipboard," and I was like, "Whoa, why?" And he was like, "You had 3.9 in high school," and I said, "Coach, that didn't mean shit. I didn't do anything in high school. What are you talking about?" I was like, "I just had to show up, brother."
That's funny.
But no, I think that's a big adjustment. Do you think that you said that you kind of relate to that? Like that was a big adjustment for you getting to college. You actually had to do your shit.
From the school side of it, yes, it was. Like actually, I was like actually pay attention in class. Um, I mean, from the I would say kind of an advantage of me moving my senior year kind of prepared me in a way for college, like moving, meeting all these new people, and like I didn't struggle with that like I thought I would. I guess it was just because I already have, but
Right. Like you've already
um
been there.
yeah, like well, I did this last year, like why can't I do it again?
Right.
Like so I mean I was kind of already used to it in a way, but um no, but definitely like especially my freshman year, like in class, I was like, damn, I'm gonna like pay attention to some of this shit and like actually study and like I remember having Dr. Howie for psychology, and I was like, dude, there ain't no way in hell I'm gonna pass this class. Like, there ain't no way. But
Do you think that you think kind of the way we went through high school, a lot of people that are D1 do that in college?
like, what do you mean?
Like being a D1
Like,
athlete, like being that guy. Like let me think of an example. Like a Johnny Manziel. You think Johnny Manziel was doing fucking homework in college?
hell no, hell no. I guarantee you, they had somebody in there doing all his work for him. I guarantee it. Ain't no way.
He's definitely a legend, though, bro. You know how much
Oh,
money he would
dude, for
make if
sure.
NIL was a thing when he was in school?
Dude, you watch his documentary?
Oh yeah,
Oh, dude, that's it's
dude,
nuts.
he's different. But no, I think I don't know. He was kind of living the NFL lifestyle before he even got there, bro.
Dude, he made so much money in college. It's not even funny.
Not
Like,
legally either.
nah, that's that's the best part.
Yeah. Hopefully he's doing better though. I know that he was like working on his recovery and shit. So hopefully he's doing better now.
Yeah, I think he's got in golf and all kinds of stuff. So,
Yeah, you see him go play with Bob Does Sports
dude, that video was
when
awesome.
he fucking jumped out of the movie golf cart, and Bob's like, "You still got it." What's your okay?
Dude,
In that flip, what do you think your favorite like content creator golf wise is to watch?
oh, so growing up, when I first got into golf, it was definitely Rick Shields and Peter Finch. Like
Rick
that's kind
Shields
of how
is,
I
I mean, he's like the cornerstone of YouTube golf.
like. He's the goat of YouTube golf. Like he's the one that started it. So like him and Peter Finch and Mark Crossfield, those were the guys where I kind of learned how to play, like how to look at my swing, how to um, make changes, what I need to do, what I need to do to be better. But now, I guess now that my college career is over, um, well, let me put it this way: my last 2 years of college, I started to watch the Bryan Bros just because of how
I don't know if I know them.
Wesley was in Wesley. So they started doing trick shots like
Mm.
in the like 2015, 2016, that time frame. So I
Like
really wanted to,
kind of on pace with Garrett from Good Good.
yeah, kind of. I mean, like I didn't watch their videos when I was in high school because it was just trick shots.
Right.
Well, then here in the last several years, like, Wesley won a PGA Tour event, and like his older brother George is trying to play on the professional tour as well. Like, they're always posting videos of them playing professional golf, and like, so like I kind of use that as kind of like a learning thing more on the golf course and like how they approach things. Because I mean, they're professional and like they're legit, like they're good. But right now, it's got to be Bob Does Sports. I mean, they're the funniest guys on the
Dude,
on the planet.
did
Like
you?
my favorite video. What is it?
No, go ahead.
I was like, my favorite video with Bob Does Sports is when um they were doing like the time challenge, and like they had to hit their second shot, and then they had to go eat a taco and
Yeah,
hammer a beer or something. I swear to God, I laugh every time I see the
dude,
video of
Fat
Fat
Perez is
Perez.
a dog, man.
Dude, Fat Perez, him running with that damn GoPro in his hand, his belly hitting the damn. That makes me laugh every time I see it,
Let me
dude.
ask you this: from a golf standpoint, do you feel like a bigger guy is less likely to like be like a the guy? I guess. Like, does it matter in golf?
I think so. I mean, if you look at Fat Perez, for example, I mean, I
Yeah,
feel
he's
like
nasty.
he does the same move every single time.
Apparently, his
Like,
dad used to just drop him off at the golf course when he was younger
yeah,
instead of paying
like
for daycare.
he played he played college golf. I think it was I think he played D3 golf. I'm pretty sure.
I'm gonna look it up.
I know he played college golf. I'm not exactly sure where he played. Um, but I don't know. I don't like you look at John Daly, like all those guys. Like, I mean, I don't feel like
Yeah, D3 is that Virginia Commonwealth? Stubby. Uh,
FP.
he's a fucking legend, bro.
Oh, dude, he's great. I'd love to play around with him.
Have you watched their like streams,
I haven't, to
bro?
be
You
honest
gotta
with you.
you just honestly you don't have to watch their streams. Just look up like Bob Does Sports chat trolling Fat Perez. Yeah, VCU. It looks like an NAI school, like a trade school.
Yeah, I know it was a smaller school.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think size or anything really affects. I mean, it's if you really look at a golf swing, all that matters is the position of impact.
Right.
Like it's really the only thing that really matters in the golf swing. Like you look at every PGA Tour player, their swings, every one of them are different, except for when they get the impact. Like they're all the same when they get the impact, just about. Like they might have some goofy back swings or whatever, but as long as it's on plane right before impact, like that's all that really matters.
Like your boy Ugly Swing. I'm gonna reach out to him and see if he'll come on the podcast.
Dude, I want to play with him. I've been trying to
No,
get a
so
video with
I
him.
messaged him last time we played, and I said, I'll get another guy and we'll run it back. So with Eric being gone, we could definitely make it happen.
I'd love to play with. He's a good dude too, man. I met him at the country club one day.
I don't know, Tyler wants to play with him too.
I'd love to play with him.
Um, Yeah, I was curious about that. So actually, I had a nice segue planned out. And then we talking about golf content creation. You actually recently got into content creation.
I'm trying to, man.
So what's the reason in there?
Dude, I don't know. I've been thinking about it because I know Nate did it a little bit, and I don't know. I don't know why I did it. I just started doing it just for. I don't know. I don't know if it's just because I miss. I don't know if I miss college golf or just trying to get something involved in something, but I don't know. I think it's kind of cool. I think I'm gonna start doing some like kind of tips and tricks and stuff instead of just swinging and playing. Um, Maybe some like course management tips or stuff like that. But I honestly have no idea why I
Yeah,
started. I
I
just
don't. No,
just wanted to
that's
do
fair.
something.
I feel like I don't know. Content creation is just weird, bro. Like people can make good shit for years and years and then not blow up, and then they make one video and they're huge.
Yeah, like one of my videos has like 45,000 views on it, but all my other ones don't have hardly anything.
Which
Like,
video? Like something you posted like earlier?
yeah, it was the one that said how do you handle first tee nerves. I
You
think that
yeah,
was
that
the one.
fucking left me hanging. I thought you were gonna say something, and then it was just the question.
I was at, I was asking you guys. I got some funny comments on that one too. It was
This
pretty funny.
guy. What did somebody say something about throwing his in?
Yeah, Harley did. He said normally just throw his in pouch in.
Literally, if you watch any TikTok I've done on the golf course, before I take a swing, I'll put his in.
Uh, I mean, there's some funny comments on there. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Always somebody said, always getting ready for the second ball coming out of my pocket, or uh, there was one guy that said normally I handle my nerves by smoking a blunt and chugging about 2 or 3 beers before I tee off or something. It was hilarious. I was cracking up over that one.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, I kind of just enjoy doing it. To be honest with you.
yeah. I mean, that's pretty good views too. I mean, I feel like a lot of the times those shorter ones are like the money makers, bro.
Yeah, I agree.
The the slideshows do a lot too. So like I did a slideshow video, got like 25 point something K on it.
Hey,
Or yeah, it was a slideshow on Zins and caffeine pairing, and that one blew up. But a lot of it comes, bro. There's so many moving pieces in it. I would say that honestly, the biggest thing is just staying on it, bro. Just put out shit.
yeah, that's
Like I don't know what
that's
your
what I've been.
end goal with it is, but like you just gotta put it out, bro. And that's part of the reason why I ended up getting my brother to be my assistant is just because, bro, I don't have the time, dude. I got so much. I got this
Yeah,
shit going on. I got work. I got fucking, my personal life goals. So honestly, he's been killing it. So it'll be
I
good for
feel that.
him. Good for me. It's
Yeah,
beneficial.
man.
But no, content
I just
creation, it's a good little outcome.
I just enjoy doing it. Hopefully, I can start making money from it one day. If not, so
Yeah.
be it.
I mean,
But
ultimately, that's the way to look at it. That's honestly, so like being business oriented, that's kind of the concept that I approach a lot of things with. So like my brother in law is the same way. And I talked about this last podcast with my sister, but it's like as a businessman, knowing that I'm putting X amount of my time in on this thing that I'm doing because I enjoy doing it, I
mm,
know that that means that there's potential for me to make money in it.
right,
So like the first thing I did like that was is streaming. Well, before that I was podcasting, and I wasn't making any money on it, but I like was intending to make money on it. But like I
right,
like having conversations with people. Now before my podcast the first time, don't look for them, but if you find them, they're very fucking stupid. And it's like a typical like goofy homeboys saying stupid shit. Um but since then I've matured a lot. My views are very different on life, and so like revamping it is more kind of productive conversations and not just being fucking dumb the whole time. So that was my first entry, and then I start the streaming stuff. I'm playing all the time, anyways. Like my thought process is like, I'm spending so much time, big chilling, spending so much time on this shit. Like, why not try to make money on it? And dude, I was busting my ass, like streaming way too much. Like nobody gave me a roadmap. It's like
Mm.
I'm streaming from 5 o'clock to 2 a.m. and then doing it all over again the next day, every day.
Hey man, I was part of that 24-hour
Oh,
stream.
dude, those don't get any easier too if you're curious.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
But
That was a lot of fun though that night.
no, for sure, yeah. I'll definitely let you know. I mean, I know you're not on a COD kick right now, but I might have to get you on one.
I might have to start back up, dude.
But yeah, no, just it comes with the business. If you have any sense of business, like you get to a point where you're like, am I wasting my time doing this shit? But also, it's kind of a curse at the same time. Like when you have so many hobbies and you're like, fuck, I can make money on this. That's kind of how TikTok got started, and it wasn't. So initially, it was a money thing. Like, I could make TikToks to make money. Now with growing my brand and growing Easy Brother and branching what this streaming platform essentially was like the basis of is just growing into something bigger. I'm running into my my do I want to make money? Yes, because I want to be able to make sure my family's taken care of. But my main goal now is not money. My main goal is to be able to help somebody. And whether
Yeah.
it be streaming and giving them an outlet to like come and de-stress and fucking have fun and have laughs at us being stupid,
Right.
or whether it be fucking coming to an Easy Brother meeting and finding out something that they're going through and how to process it. So that's where I'm at now. The money aspect, money's gonna be made. That's not a concern. But ultimately, my best advice for you would be just to stick with it, bro.
Yeah.
Don't
I mean, that's kind of the way.
low
That's kind of the way I've been looking
expectations.
at it.
Low
Yeah.
expectations, high payouts. That's essentially the best way to look at it, brother.
That's kind of the way I've been looking at it. It's just like, if I make money from it, so be it. Like I said earlier, I'm gonna start doing like, course management stuff when you're, kind of what to expect when you know, try to play college golf or just stuff like that. Because some people don't know. You know.
And all else fails, bro, you can start doing that comedy shit. You seen that guy that swings really fucking hard?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I plan on doing some. I'm trying to. I have a pretty good idea for a video once we get some these putters coming in. I think it's gonna be pretty good. I have
The
a pretty
lab
good idea.
putters.
Yeah, I have a pretty good
Did you
idea.
get your lab putter too?
I ordered one. Yeah.
Do I need to get my putter reshafted? I think I need to go longer than standard.
What is it? Is it
Yeah, it's
36?
just like a standard 36.
You're a little taller. You probably might need a 37
Yeah, I
or
just feel like
37.
me like bending so much to. I mean, I'm not. It's not like overly bending, but it's just. Hold on, I'll
Kills
show
your
you.
back.
I think a large part of my golf shit is it's too much baseball, bro. I did it for too long.
Dude, whenever during baseball season and then switching right back to golf, it took me like a month to get back into things. Like, dude, those first 2 weeks would be so frustrating because the golf swing, I mean, the baseball swing, and the golf swing, somewhat similar, but there's some differences. That first
Do
2 weeks,
do
dude,
you
I just be
interlock,
thinking
overlap, or do you just?
interlock, interlock. Yeah,
You know, it's definitely difficult. I always said that. Little did I know that it wasn't the case. I always said that I wouldn't play like slow pitch until I was completely done
Mm.
with baseball. And that was my retirement. I went and played softball. Way different. I don't like it. I still have all the things that made me good at baseball. Like I'm fast. If I hit the ball on the ground, I can beat it out. But
right.
like, I hated it. And Matea, bro, this is like, granted, Matea, she's seen me play basketball, but she's never seen me on the field. Like she played softball. So we go out there in Georgetown. I get a text from my old high school coach like, hey, we need a guy to play softball this week if you're down. And I was like, yeah, I'm in Georgetown, might as well. So I ended up going down there. I have to like borrow cleats, get a glove, and I'm wearing like fucking basketball shorts rolled up super high. And dude, so like softball where it's underhand and you hit it, you create backspin. So like a typical
Right.
baseball is spinning top spin, and it's easy to judge. Like you know exactly where the ball is going to be because it's coming at a downward angle. fucking softball where you hit it, like chop it in half. The ball has
Mm,
backspin. So you could be where you think the ball's going to be traditionally, but it's going to carry 20, 30 yards.
right.
So that was an adjustment. I was fucking dropping balls. I was like, oh, this is a 3-game series, boys. Give me some time to get adjusted. I get on base, and I like end up scoring from first. And Mateo's like, I didn't know you were fast. And I was like, you thought I was a fucking scrub, bro? I got to college for a reason. Don't do me like that. But now that,
Like that's why I get $9 grand a year.
yeah, for sure. Golf is my, that's my retirement for sure. Like I won't have any problems coaching eventually, but like I'm content with playing golf for the rest of my life.
Dude, I feel like that's my favorite line whenever I'm talking shit. Everyone's talking shit, and I make a putt or something. I was like, that's why they pay me $9 grand a year, baby. That's what I was here for.
That's a good flex.
I love that. It was really six, but
9 sounds better.
it
So
does sound better.
going off of that, I know that you're kind of taking your next step professionally, trying to find a career job.
Yes.
But what's your purpose?
Oh man. Uh, to be honest, like I've always been the kind of guy that looks, um, not really to like improve myself rather than improving to somebody else. Like if I could help someone, I would much rather do that than try to help myself. Like I see that in this future position that I'm applying for. I see it when I'm coaching the golf. Like like I just want to. I don't know. I just want to be able to help people get better. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of the way I look at it.
No, that's I mean definitely honorable, but at the same time, I feel like that should be in some basis everybody's goal. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
Because
Like,
like I know Old Spice is doing something now where it's like a mentor program, but like
mm,
you don't need any qualifications, just like what your life experience is. Like the fact that people go their whole life without giving some type of advice to somebody is kind of crazy to me. Like you have all this experience, you lived this life, you made mistakes. Why not pass that on to somebody else? You know?
yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm like just throughout my years, like working, like the people that I've looked up to, like they've helped me become who I am. Like my parents, and the
For sure.
people I used to work for, and then like you know, you got guys on campus here that I've looked up to since I've been here, and I don't know, just kind of want to keep passing that along in a way.
No, it's definitely. I mean, that's a good purpose to have in life, man. And even at the end of the day, like that process of like helping people, there's not like coming from somebody who has been in a position where like I'm gonna have X amount of money. Granted, my goals in life have changed a lot. Like it went from I'm gonna be a billionaire to like I want to make sure that my family's comfortable so I can give back as much to other people that need it. You know what I mean? So
Right.
like in that sense, the gratification or like the feeling you get helping somebody, like they actually get what you're saying to them, is far
Yes.
better than any dollar amount that you can get.
Oh, absolutely.
That's why a
Like
lot of people who are in those positions, you can offer them more money to stay or to leave, but they're not going to take it because it doesn't matter. It's not about the money.
just even on the golf side of things, like this year, like it's been tough just for me just because I'm not playing anymore. And like when I'm out there with those guys and like they're competing and like I can't help them personally by me playing like I used to be able to. So like just trying to give them, the right mindset or the right path to try to be successful while you're out on the golf course. Like, because when you're out there on the golf course for 4.5, 5 hours by yourself, like you beat yourself up.
Yeah.
Like you beat yourself up, and like I'm victim to it. Like I try not to do it, but
Dude,
I hit a bad shot. I'll cuss myself for 5 minutes, then
oh yeah.
just try
Well,
to
that's especially
not
with
really hold
golf,
it
bro.
against
Like
it.
it's such a
Yeah,
mental game.
yeah. Like I try not to hold their hand. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but just try to give them like the experience and the advice that I've been given, and like just trying to pass it along. And um, I don't know. I feel like that's just my best way that I can help them because I know I can't shoot the scores for them. Like I
Absolutely.
used to
Right.
be able to.
Right.
But
Kind of the
so I can
same
help them.
premise of like the leadership aspect, like being a mentor and outside of golf
Right,
and being able to teach them like think about it this way, do it this way, so that they have that
right.
because you can't hold their hand through whatever they're going through.
Like my biggest thing is like whenever I played, like I kept my own stats. Like that way I knew what I needed to improve on. So like whenever I'm out there with those guys and like I see them struggling with something, even I did this even whenever I was playing, like, you know, I mean, say if you're on my team and you hit 2 out of 18 greens, I'm like, TJ, you might need to work on your iron play.
Right. I definitely need
Like
to.
if you're not hitting greens, like just for an example, you know, like just stuff like that, you know,
Right. No, for sure.
just
I think
because
I mean that's a good place to
golf's
be in
very
though.
hard.
Oh, dude.
Like it's hard to practice because like yeah, you can go to the driving range, you can putt for an hour, but what are you like? There's certain things that you can actually like be doing
Well, especially if you're going out
instead
by
of
yourself, you could do something for
yeah,
hours, but if you're doing it the wrong way, it's not helping you any.
yeah, like short game. Like the best way for short game, in my opinion, is competition. Like me and Tyler, we still do it to this day when we're up there at Stonecrest together. Like we'll have a chipping contest.
Right.
Like that's just the best way in my opinion, for a short game. And putting, like there's so many different things you can be doing instead of just just trying to fill out the greens. Like because every golf course is different, every green is different, and like the conditions are different. So like I always try to find something that I needed to work on. Like take a video of your swing, find just just try to break it down and figure something out that you need to work on, and then just improve on from there.
For sure. No, for sure.
So
Um, so I mean, I know that your main goal is to get this job you just applied for,
correct.
but in that aspect, what is next for Brock? Like, what is your if you get this job, what is your goal? I know that you said today that you don't really have an idea of what your 5 years looks like, but
Yeah. I mean, you're stumping me again. Let's see. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I love you, Pike. I love Pikeville. Like I want to be here as long as possible. But like, if I ever get the opportunity to, you know, be able to coach somewhere like that, I mean, I don't care how much money it costs. Like that's what I want to do. But on the other hand, like I understand, like I need to learn and grow and continue to grow. So I think that's why this job is pretty good opportunity for that, and it's a good starting point anyway. So um, I mean, that's kind of really all I got.
I ask
You
the
stumped
heavy
me again,
hitters, brother. Um,
heavy hit.
ultimately, I mean, in terms of the things I wanted to talk about, we've kind of gotten through. Um, I think the only thing I really have left to say, in the sense of kind of the premise of what we do here being better than yesterday, would be advice that I didn't get going into being a young professional. I'd say the biggest thing, one where you decide to go, like to start a career, matters. I think here is a good option for you. Like you have roots set deep, people know you. Um, you can kind of go about building a routine that works for you, and this job gives you that flexibility to do that. But
Right,
in the sense of growing as a leader, it really comes down to you. Um,
right. I agree.
I think what I've seen in my past 4 years is somebody kind of going off what you said about like helping people. You somebody could tell you like this is what you need to do, but them holding your hand's not gonna help you.
Right,
So ultimately, going into this career, going into whatever the next step is for you, be like aware of like this is my idea. Like I want to accomplish this. Because like
right,
I told you today, like when I started here, it was competitive. And then when I realized there's not much competition in this field, and I'm competing against people who I don't need to compete with because we're on the same team, we're working for the same goal. You know what I mean?
right,
Like it's
right.
productive when you're playing against teammates to get better. But that's not the case. Like
Exactly.
I'm treating it like, oh, I'm killing you. Like I'm way better than you. That's not helping either of us. It's not helping the team.
Right.
So there was a moment, I'd say maybe the first year it was super competitive. Then I realized like there's no point in competing. I had like a down spell of like trying to figure out like what is my purpose? Like why am I here? Like I know I made promises. I know I have debts to pay, but like what is my goal for here? Granted, I wish I'd found it
Right.
sooner because ultimately the answer is mentor and being able to share my experiences with somebody who might be going through the same shit. Ma, I appreciate the follow. That scared the shit out of me. I didn't know what that noise was. Um, but yeah, just being able to help somebody through some shit that I've been through or I know how to handle. Um, I will say though, the biggest key to that being a mentor is you gotta let a lot of shit roll off your shoulders.
Yeah.
Granted, you have a little brother, so you kind of already have a feel for it of like giving somebody advice and them not listening to you, like basically saying fuck your
Trust
advice.
me, I know.
Yeah,
Especially with him.
yeah. Which I mean, granted, I've been there. Like your age gap's a little closer than me and my brothers, but like there was a long stint that we just did not get along. 6 years apart. I mean,
Right.
we lost our dad, and I'm trying to like be somewhat of a father figure to him. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I told him I was like, I have no business trying to be a dad at 14, bro. I wasn't even ready to be a dad when I was actually a dad. So letting a lot of that shit roll off your back, like the kind of like the tough love aspect of like they're gonna have to figure it out, even if that means they have to figure it out the hard way. You can only tell them so
Right.
much. Like this is the outcome of the path that you chose. So
Right.
either get the hell off the path or buckle up because you're about to get a shitstorm. But I think it'll
Not
be good
wrong.
for you. I think being in that role and if you really embrace it for what it is, I think it'll be good for you,
Yeah.
helping you grow
I
and get
think
ready for the next level.
I think it's a good start for sure.
Yeah, no, and
I,
that's exactly what it is. It's a start, and you kind of touched on it today. If that means that you use it as a launch pad to um, climb the ladder and go the higher education route, or even if you use it as like a starting position to learn all these leadership skills that you could take into being a coach somewhere.
right.
But
I
I
mean,
think
that's really the end goal. I mean, that's my dream. Like, I would kill to be a head coach somewhere. Like, that's just, I mean, that's kind of the only thing I can really think of that I was like, I want to do that. You know,
yeah, no, absolutely, I get it. And I mean, maybe that. I mean, hopefully, it plays out in a way that you're here long enough that potentially there's an opportunity down the road.
possibly.
Yeah,
Never. I mean, you just never know. You just never know.
you
But
never know, brother. It might be for women though. I don't.
that's fine. I don't care.
I mean, I wasn't bashing women's golf. Don't cancel me. I'm just
Hey,
saying it might be for women.
hey, you like women's golf, or they're studs.
Yeah, the
They're
Crooks
top 25
twins.
team in the country. They are studs.
Yeah. You got anything else
They're
you want to
good.
talk about?
Not that I can think of.
Have you? I was about to ask you if you've had a 2 hour conversation before, but I'm sure you have.
Oh, plenty.
First podcast. What do you think? How'd it go?
Hey man, I want to be back.
Yeah. All right. We'll
I want
see
to
where
be
we can
back.
make work. I got a lot of people lined up, so
Bitch.
maybe we catch you a little bit into your journey, your next step, and see how you're doing.
That works. I just baked the shit out of my knee.
All right, Brock. Well, I
Yeah.
appreciate you coming out, and good luck, brother.
I appreciate you.
All right.
Thank you, brother.
All right, man. We'll talk to you later.
All right. See you, brother.
Later. All right, chat. That was Broc Crist. I appreciate y'all for being here. This full VOD will be posted on YouTube within the next couple of days. So if you got here late, no stress. It'll be posted on that. If you're curious what that is, it should be in my bio on Twitch. So if you click on my profile, go to my bio to be in that. It's honestly the same on every platform: TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, T_easy_66. You can find me there. But yeah, I appreciate y'all being here. I hope y'all enjoyed. We'll be back Thursday with regular scheduled stream. So y'all be better. Y'all be easy. I love y'all. See y'all next time.